Hi guys. I was thinking, in 1998 was probably when I started becoming a wrestling fan. You hear a lot of people who had a lot of stories about how they used to watch wrestling back in the golden era. Um, and I always heard of Ultimate Warrior, and I always really liked the Ultimate Warrior for the little bits that I saw of him. But if I'm honest, when I first started watching hardcore wrestling, it was in around about 1998. So I got into it relatively late. Given my age, however, I suppose it wasn't that late, but yeah. So about 1997, 1998. So that would have made me about 12 years old. 12 to 13 years old, especially if it was 1998, so 13 years old. When I was 13 years old, on a Saturday during the day, before I snuck out the house, and the two things I always watched. Um, that was the A-Team, and it was WCW. Um, WCW was something that was shown a lot on free TV. So it was something that I watched a lot of. Thinking about it, it wasn't 1998. It was before then. It was about 1995, 1994. And the reason I say that is because I do remember watching a lot more of Ultimate Warrior, just little snippets here and there. They used to show kind of old episodes in the UK. They know that UK have a massive fan base in wrestling, but they used to show old WWE WWF at the time shows. But where I really started watching it on a weekly basis was around about 1998. So they used to show like I say, a lot of A-Team shows, WCW shows. And one of the biggest things, without a shadow of a doubt, the thing that absolutely made me love this guy was Goldberg. Goldberg was the main reason I tuned into WCW. It was the only thing I was interested in. I used to tune in and watch Goldberg, just wanting him to kick everybody's ass. This unstoppable force. I used to model myself on Goldberg. Believe it or not, how I used to get people just when I started secondary school, so that'd be high school for the American guys. Um, so you had to find your way at school. Everybody had to find their own way. Being a big guy kind of helped because people would think twice before they fuck with me. But when I used to model myself on Goldberg, I used to do that I used to get the eyes perfect. I used to basically I stared my way through fucking school. I really did. And a lot of what helped was Goldberg. I used to love him. I used to love everything about him. You know, his own swagger, the way they packaged him. He was everything as a guy or even as a little boy that I wanted to be. And then, I grew up and I started to understand why I like Goldberg so much. Because he was never the best in the ring. But the character they built was so important. It was so mandatory mandatory for his character. Because for us as guys, as males, needing to identify with him, we had to believe that he was this unstoppable monster. We had to believe that Goldberg would legitimately be able to kick the asses of the people that he was running through. And that's why till today, I get shit on sometimes when I say it, but I don't give a fuck. Goldberg is still one of my very favourites of all time, based off the way he was packaged, based off his character. Not necessarily the work he did in the ring, but what he made you believe as a wrestling fan. The only reason I tell you this story is because Ryback, there's no getting away from it, is WWE's answer to Goldberg. He should be everything that Goldberg is, an unstoppable monster. He's not as tall as Goldberg, but he should be that same unstoppable monster. Someone who barely talks, but just gets shit done. Um, for me, I always liked Skip Sheffield, even when he was in the Nexus, and I'll tell you the reason why. He looked, apart from the fact that he had the look, he looked like among everybody there, I was the one that called it, and I said, I guarantee they'll make that guy a star. Arguably, it's been 3 years since the Nexus now. Arguably, out of everybody there, he's a bigger star than Wade Barrett right now. And yeah, alright, WWE got behind him as they do with the corporate machine and pushed him to the moon. But for me, Ryback is the epitome of what is wrong with the WWE today. This is a character that they should have pushed all the way. Not spared any expenses, just do it. Push it all the way. Do what you have to do. And yet instead, we have this babbling, pausing, chicken shit heel character who has lost every important match that he's ever been in. Probably the worst, and I said this at the time last year, the worst thing that could have happened was John Cena being injured in December. Because WWE wasn't ready for that. And because they weren't ready for that, they quickly drafted Ryback in. And as a result of that, they kind of rushed he wasn't ready to make that step up. I honestly believe that they didn't want to go there. So they had no choice than to make CM Punk win rather than have Ryback win. And as a result, his momentum is changed. You already began to think, oh, hold on, what? And he lost that match. And I don't think they did it in a particularly good way. They got like a referee to get in there and cost Ryback the match, but ultimately they didn't do it in a good way. He still lost the match. So what, a low blow can put an unstoppable monster like Ryback down for 3? Fuck off. That would never happen to Goldberg. And then, just when they had the opportunity to try and rectify that with John Cena, it's not like you couldn't have given John Cena the title shot anyway. If that's the way you wanted to go, you could have always given him the title shot. Hell, it would have made the whole Rock Cena story a little bit more interesting if Cena didn't quite get the job done at Royal Rumble. And then you didn't even need to flip Cena heel completely. Just have him do a couple more heelish things until The Rock agreed to face him at WrestleMania. That, for me, would have told a much more interesting story from the bullshit that we ended up getting. But instead, you have Cena win Royal Rumble and eliminate Ryback in the process. So that's 2 major losses now that Ryback has fucking had. At this point, you're like, what the fuck? What am I invested in this character for? He then goes on to lose that Elimination Chamber, which you're like, what the fuck? He gets constantly beaten down by Shield, and then he loses. I love Mark Henry. Don't get me wrong. I love Mark Henry. He reminds me of me, so I like Mark Henry. Don't get me wrong. But what the fuck is Mark Henry beating Ryback for? Like, really? That whole WrestleMania moment should have been about Ryback getting him up for the shell shock, which, alright, don't get me wrong, he did. But how much more powerful would it have been where we were doubting, like even I was doubting that he could get Mark Henry up for the shell shock. And to have him do it and then pin Mark Henry, in that one moment, you would have given Ryback some momentum back. You had him lose. him doing the shell shock afterwards is just ridiculous to me. You had him lose. So then at this point, you're thinking to yourself, alright, what the fuck are they going to do with Ryback? Then I thought, okay, when he attacked Cena, and he was still chanting, feed me more, I thought, okay, I can get on board with this. They're making him into a tweener. And then they didn't go down that route. They decided to completely change him into a heel. So now, any momentum that you had, and don't get me wrong, that momentum was diminishing, but you still had some. You flip him heel, now you've gone from Ryback, who has a lot of crowd reaction, he was just starting to really get over, to a character that now doesn't get any reaction when he comes out. Doesn't even get boos. This is the fundamental problem with the WWE today and Ryback. They don't know what they're doing. And as a result, they're on the verge of ruining a character. A character that could have allowed us, just for 1 second, to have something different apart from John Cena. To give us a different character from John Cena. That's somebody that could have carried your company. To the point where if you wanted to flip Cena heel, or if you wanted to just reboot the character a little bit of John Cena, your other top guy, or heaven forbid, if John Cena was to get seriously injured right now, you have no problems, because you have a Ryback character that can take it forward. But instead of doing all that, instead of doing what a logical business would do, you flip him heel. And the thing is, you've not even done it well. I wouldn't even say you've done it well. This, for me, is the major problem with WWE. Ryback. You've lost a character that could have given you so much. And now, you just don't care. I personally have gone from somebody who really cared about the Ryback character around about September last year onwards, until he lost that match to CM Punk last year. Now he comes out and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And not in a heelish way, right? Not in a heelish way, in a, oh no, he's gonna speak on the mic. That was mistake number one. Why the fuck did he start speaking on the mic for? Why wouldn't you just let him do his thing without saying anything? Oh, for fuck's... I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. And then, you know, I watched Off the Rope shows, video on it, and they got down, they beat me to the punch, and then they had a little bit more of a sensitive subject that went, that they displayed on there, so, you know, I can't really do too much stuff for that, because, you know, they're grieving at the moment, but, and RIP, by the way, for the guys on the, you know, but, it's a shame, because now, to me, they are in a position now where they've had two characters that they could have developed to take over that to take over that John Cena mantle, and they've healed them both out in CM Punk and in Ryback. I don't know what this company is doing. Do you really think John Cena is going to be there forever? There's no forward thinking in this company. There's no proactiveness in this company. Because we really needed another heel. You have to flip Ryback heel. Really? Anyway, I just wanted to make this video just to get this off my chest. But subscribe, like this video if you like. Been wanting to do it for a long time, just how around. But for me, more importantly than anything, if Ryback doesn't beat John Cena at Extreme Rules, write this character off. Because no one is ever going to take him seriously. No one. And if you think Ryback is going to beat John Cena within a month of John Cena winning that title, the only way that could possibly happen is if John Cena's injury is legitimate. And what will happen is as soon as Cena heals up, he'll come back and win the title. I am so not looking forward to wrestling this year. I'm really. As soon as I heard John Cena was going to win the championship, I was just like, there goes me as a wrestling fan. It's going to happen. I keep saying it in every video. I've not seen anything yet that's going to make me think to myself in 2014, oh, it's Raw tonight, let me watch it. I'm praying that WWE fix something. Just something. Anyway, take care.